Germany has produced some of the world's greatest inventors and creators. Lothar Matthäus created history by participating in 5 World Cups. Rudi Völler invented the perfect football mullet. And Franz Beckenbauer invented the role of the modern sweeper. Now, with merciless defending and precision passing, Philipp Lahm has the Bayern Munich captaincy worn with pride by Beckenbauer before Lahm was even born. With a fair bit of football ahead of him, can Lahm do the unthinkable and outplay Germany's greatest player? It's the battle that sounds like the title to a children's fairy tale. Kaiser Franz and the Magic Dwarf. Born in post-war Munich in 1945, Franz Anton Beckenbauer took up football against the wishes of his working-class father, Franz Sr., who wanted him to follow a more conventional career path. Franz played local ball when he was 9, and when he turned 14, he gave up his job as a trainee insurance salesman to join Bayern Munich. To this day, Germany thanks him for ignoring his father. Nearly 40 years later, Philipp Lahm was born in the city he'd one day captain at Allianz Arena. It took a bribe by a Bayern scout to get him to leave FT Köln, the local club whose alumni includes his grandfather, father and uncle. The offer? Being a ball boy at a Bundesliga match. It was too hard to resist for young Philipp, and his parents supported his decision to join Bayern Munich as an 11-year-old. To this day, the Bavarians thank their sneaky scout. Bayern Munich wasn't the powerhouse they are today, but that didn't stop Kaiser Franz from joining them in the 2nd division and leading them to their newly formed Bundesliga in 1965. Bayern and Beckenbauer became the best team in Germany and later on in Europe, as he captained them to 3 league titles in the early 70s and triple European Cup wins. They were so good, they got to keep the European Cup permanently. 60 goals in 427 games later, the Kaiser made an unpopular move by jumping ship to join Pelé with the New York Cosmos for a ton of cash by 70s standards, before retiring a rich man a few years later. Beckenbauer traded in his football boots for a Bayern front office job, becoming the team president in 1994. He's credited with instilling their winning philosophy that still exists today, and is now chairman of the club's advisory board. As their team captain, Philipp Lahm knows he's had the Kaiser's eyes planted firmly on him since joining the club in 1995. After returning from a loan stint with Stuttgart in 2005 with a torn cruciate ligament, Lahm played left back even if his heart was on the right. With all the giant names that line up for the German club, it's the Magic Dwarf they look up to. If Beckenbauer's club stats were impressive, his national team achievements are truly amazing. A 2-time European Footballer of the Year, Beckenbauer played in 3 World Cups and 103 games for West Germany, lifting the trophy as West German captain in 1974 and as a coach for West Germany's last hurrah in 1990. No other person in the history of the game has done that. In the game of the century, an epic 4-3 semi-final loss to Italy in 1970, he played an entire 120 minutes with a broken clavicle suffered mid-game. True to his nickname, he was their emperor, their leader. He was both elegant and arrogant, and with his international record, he could afford to be. Lahm did his best Beckenbauer impersonation by wearing a cast after hurting his elbow just before the 2006 World Cup. Though that edition was played in his home country after a successful bid led by, guess who, Kaiser Franz, it was ultimately a painful one for Germany, losing to Italy in the semi-final. Lahm is the youngest player to captain the national team at a World Cup. Beckenbauer has had some off-pitch dramas. He represented a major mobile phone company. But after demanding a mobile number full of consecutive sixes, he ended up receiving voicemail full of German men, thinking it was a sex hotline. He's tried his hand at marriage, but has been unsuccessful 3 times. Football is the thing he's good at. Philipp Lahm is more jovial and has a child with longtime girlfriend turned wife Claudia. He has his own foundation for underprivileged kids and is involved in charity events around the world. But Philipp nearly pulled off a Kaiser again, publishing a #1 selling autobiography where he criticized past coaches and their training methods. Needless to say, it hasn't made him popular in the